How you doing out there, folks? Decided to make this video. It's going to have something to do with the memoirs that Marie wrote about our long relationship of over 40 years ago. I guess a few years ago, when she's feeling pretty good, she decided to write our memoirs. And I said, wow, it's going to be a lot to write. I didn't know how to go about it myself. And she said, well, I divided it into 3 stories. And I said, what are they? She said, book 1, Real Diamond. Book 2, Railroad to Prison, and Book 3, The Electronic Criminal. And I said, oh, they sound pretty good titles, because I knew by the titles, what everything was about. So we got all that done and all, and I did audio books on each one, because I felt like it, doing it at the time. So they're on YouTube, so you can look them up. All you have to do is look up Real Diamond by M.A. Holland, and you could look up Railroad to Prison by M.A. Holland, and you can look up The Electronic Criminal by M.A. Holland. They're already on there, but I'm going to do book 1 now and explain how it, in my words, in my words. I'm going to read the lyrics for Real Diamond, because it's all about these lyrics, this whole thing, this whole story and how we met and all. Okay, Real Diamond by the unknown songwriter. If I had a real diamond, I'd be rich as I could be. But if I had your love, that would be enough for me. Whenever I look at you, your eyes sparkle like a star. It lets me see you, whether near or far. Okay, then the chorus I used is, a real diamond may go from hand to hand, but the love I have for you would be the same in any land. Put on your most beautiful gown, because we're going out on the town. You deserve the best, so I'm going to take you to dinner as my guest. And the chorus again, a real diamond may go from hand to hand, but the love I have for you would be the same in any land. Now that we've finished our meal, I want to show you the way I feel. Put out your hand, and on your finger I will place a wedding band. Real diamond may go from hand to hand, but the love I have for you would be the same in any land. I can tell by the expression on your face, this was the right time and the right place. This means that we can start a new life as Mr. and Mrs. and man and wife. And that was pretty much it. Now I wrote those lyrics over 40 years ago, and it was for Neil Diamond, as you can tell by the title. So I found out that he wasn't taking outside material. I'm not going to go into that too much detail about that. So I decided to maybe I could make the lyrics come to life. Acting them out, since it never really happened. I made it all up. So I read the lyrics, and it said if I had a real diamond, I'd be rich as I can be, but I'm not rich. I'm doing odd jobs. I'm living at home, no expenses and all, and taking care of the property for my mother and all that. Okay, so I decided, well, let's see. I made up I wanted to get a real diamond. I figured the best thing to do, first of all, I got to get the real diamond, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to make this story come to life. So I put a price. I put $20,000. I figured I'd be rich as I could be if I had $20,000. So I said, okay. It still took me a while to save that money, about 3 years. So I went downtown to the jewelers. I knew them and all. I trusted them, so I told the jeweler what I wanted, about the size of a quarter and maybe an inch or so thick. Well, you really want a big ring? I said, yeah, I want a big one, and I want a gold band and everything. And he said, well, I don't know, but how much you want to spend, because I can make it, depending on the setting and everything. I said around $20,000. It didn't seem to faze him, because they when you're dealing with diamonds and gold and all that kind of money doesn't, to him it wasn't that much. To me it was. So he said, do you know the size? You're going to give it to her? I said, no, I haven't met the girl in my dreams yet. I just want to have it ready, So he said, okay, let me see what I can do here. So do you want me to make it come out to right around 20,000? I said, yeah, right around that amount. I mean, the size, he says, I have to take measurements. He said, what about the ring size? I said, I don't know. I'm not going to know that. He said, I can always adjust it later. I said, well, why don't you make it the size that you make the most? He said, there is sizes I do make the most. There's not much of a range in there, he said, and I'll do that. So I said, hey, I'm going to give you about a third of the money now, because I really want you to do it. I'm not going to give you the money and tell you I don't want to do it. Because he said, once I start it, and if you want the money back, I won't be able to give it to you because I've already put time in all. And I said, no, I understand that. I want it. Okay, so time passes and all, and he did get it done, and it was beautiful. Just what I want. I gave him all the money, and the last day when I paid him, when the ring was finished, he said, Frank, how about if I give you a ride home? I'm getting ready to leave soon. He said, oh, I really appreciate that. Of course, I guess spending the kind of money I spend and all, he wants to make sure, that I get home all right. So that was nice. So first thing I did was put it in the safe deposit box. And that's exactly where it stayed for a while. So I start going around trying to find a girlfriend, but I'm not going to find someone that easy to give a $20,000 ring to. I start getting friendly. And I never went out too much, but because I was working with this job I had, I meet a lot of people and all, and I'd be going into clubs a little bit, and once in a while. I did this for a while, and I was doing it while he was working on the ring, too. And I just didn't find anybody I really think I'm going to give to have a relationship first before I think of giving them a $20,000 ring. Okay, so this went on a while, and then I talked to my mother about it. She noticed that I wasn't myself, a little out of sorts. I said, yeah, because I don't want to be tied to your apron strings, for the rest of my life. And she said, I understand that. It's not a problem, It's not saying that you find someone to go with that you're going to leave me stuck or not. I said, no, I wouldn't do that. So I know telling her, I know she was going to try to do something, So speaking of doing something, let me play this song in the background. Listen to it. Let's see how this is going to sound. Okay. Should be coming on here. Okay. But then she talked to a friend of the family, about seeing if she could find, me a girlfriend or something. But it just didn't, I wasn't getting anywhere with it. Okay, so you'll hear it in the background now. Okay, so this guy, he came to the house and I was there, and he said, Frank, would you come over and look at the TV for a lady friend of mine that lives near her? I said, oh, sure, I'll do it. He said, it's like a snowy picture. She can't get any channels, So I said, okay, I'll do it. He picked me up and brought me there. And he said, Marie, this is Frank. I said, oh, I'm pleased to meet you. You're gonna fix my TV? I said, I'll try. I don't know. So I checked everything out. Checked all the connections and all. And it was a bad connection, the antenna. So I decided to, I checked it all out. I know about TVs, back in the day. Remember, there was no cable or nothing then, so I hooked everything up and I got it to work. It was just a bad connection, but she didn't know nothing about it. She was happy to have the one channel that she looked at. And I had all the channels I tuned them in. She didn't have them tuned in. She didn't, it's adjustments. It's all, you got to know how to do all that, And she said, wow, I got all the channels. I said, yeah, Marie, just keep, don't mess with it too much. You can hit, a button and throw everything out of whack. She said, oh, no, don't worry. I said, well, you can call me if you, need anything. And she said, how much do I owe you? And I said, well, and the friend of the family said, I'll pay him. Don't worry about it. I said, okay, but if you need anything, Marie, I gave her my phone number. Just give me a call. She started calling me for every little thing. I said, all right. It's for the phonograph and all. It's for the so many things that wasn't working. And I said, pretty soon, Marie, there won't be nothing left to fix. And she said, don't worry. You can still come over anyway. And she said, I'm going to call you Frankie the Fixer. I said, but remember, Marie, I can fix almost anything, but I don't fix broken hearts or parking tickets. And she started laughing. So she gave me that name, Frankie the Fixer. She always called me Frankie, where I'm around 30 years old. They weren't calling me Frankie, but she did. So I know she liked to do that. So we started to keep it real friendly. I mean, I didn't know that, at least I was getting to know somebody, in a nice way, not just go out to a club and then that's it. We had a nice relationship going there. I said, you want to go out? We went, I had a car, so, oh man, that's nice. I said, if you need to go any place, I can take you, because I have the one job, but the odd jobs I do, whenever I have a chance, so with all that going on, we went to dinners, shopping, drive-in movies. The one instance I remember about a drive-in movie was that the movie was The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Can you imagine that on the big screen, how that looked? That was a perfect movie to put on a drive-in movie, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. On the 50-foot screen, huh? So we went there a few times, a lot of different times. And I would get the snacks and put in the speaker so we could hear the movie and all. And we really enjoyed it a lot. And we start going to dinners and a lot of things. So then I said, Marie, do you want to meet my mother and stepdad? She said, oh, sure. I said, okay, let's go. And I took her over and I told my mother that we're going to stop over. And my mother was waiting there with open arms, and she said, oh, I'm so pleased to meet you. I heard a lot about you. And we went in, we talked and all. She said, I'm going to make you some nice dinner. And we can talk. And you want to see Frank's victory garden? And I said to myself, oh boy, I wasn't going to show it to her. She said, yeah, Frankie, I want to see your victory garden. We went outside and she said, wow, that's a big garden you have. Wow, you have tomatoes, green peppers, everything, all the vegetables. I said, yeah, because this is the time of year when everything was starting to, to blossom good, And she's looking at everything, and I said, man, you really keep it nice. What about those plants in the center, those big plants that are real green? I said, I'll tell you about them later. So we went in, we had a dinner, and we had a salad, and my mother told Marie, look at those tomatoes, they're from Frank's garden. I said, boy, they look good, they taste good. And we had spaghetti and meatballs, and then my mother told me, look at that, the sauce from Frank's garden. So that was all good, and it was the weekend. I told my mother, I'm going to go with Marie, and I stay on the weekends with her, and she said, that's good to know, and I'm very glad to meet you, and all. We left and all, we went back home, and I didn't say too much about the garden. So we got in bed and ready for bed and all. She said, now, Frankie, tell me about those plants. Now, I have an idea. I'm suspicious about what they are, but I'm not sure. I'm no expert in none of that. I said, Marie, I have nothing to hide from you. We're good friends and we like each other and all. I said, they're pot plants. She said, why are you growing pot plants? I said, because it's like a hobby. I was trying, she says, why? I said, I was trying to grow the plants so I could try to graft them to each other. First I tried grafting the pot to the tomato plant. It just wasn't working. I tried everything, but it just, kept, when I tried the other way around, I figured, well, if I do take the growing tip of the tomato plant and try to cut it into the stalk of the pot plant, maybe it'll take. It took a little bit, but it's just wilting, and that was the problem. I thought if I could get one of them, and then, because the seeds from the tomato plant, then you would have more plants from that. I said it wasn't working. She said, why'd you try to do that? I said, I grafted cactus plants together. They all worked, She said, well, cactus to cactus, Frankie, is something different than trying to grow a pot plant with a tomato plant. I said, I agree with you, Marie. You're right. If you got to get rid of them, you're going to get us all into a lot of trouble if you ever get caught with those plants. She knew that. In those days it was more worse than it is now. So I said, okay, what do you want to do? She said, tomorrow's trash night. Let's go over there and go to your house and meet your mother there again. I think it was Monday, this was Sunday, something like that. And I said, okay, we'll put it all out and bag and pull up all the plants. She tells my mother about it. I said, oh, and My mother said, well, I didn't know that he was doing that. And she said, well, I don't know. He told me. And she said, I talked to him and he agreed he shouldn't be doing it and he got rid of him. And boy, my mother was so happy with her for doing that and she saved us from being in a lot of trouble. My mother liked me more for that than ever. Oh, so happy. And then she said, see, Frankie listened to you. He might not listen to me, but he did to you, so that's good. They had a very good relationship. Everything was going good after that. No problems. So then I decided, I was thinking about who I'm going to give, the real diamond ring. Remember, I still have it. It's in the safe deposit box, And I said, man, this relationship I have with me was going on for a few months, for a while. It wasn't like I meet her one day and then give her the ring. I mean, she stuck by me. And she discovered my secret garden, so she stuck by me, and I really appreciated that. I said, she stuck by me for the rest of, our life together, and, it turned out that she did. So I decided, you know what, this might be, looks like she's going to be the girl of my dreams right now. So I called her up, and I said, Marie, you want to go out to dinner? And I said, put on your most beautiful gown. Remember, that's the lines from the song. So she said, oh yeah, I want to go to dinner here to our favorite restaurant. So I said, okay, be ready about 7 o'clock, something like that. I don't want to go too late. So I go there, she's not ready. I said, oh, anxious. I have that ring in my pocket. It's like I'm worried about something's going to happen. So we go outside, and guess what happened? He said, Frankie, where's the car? I said, over there, in that empty spot. She says, what? Somebody stole your car? I said, you got that right. So I said, look, we'll have to take a rain check on the dinner, Marie. I called the police. I reported everything, told them the color of the car, all the information they ask, Okay, so I said, let's try this in a couple of days. So I went to the car dealer I knew, and I got another car. And it was identical, except this one had air conditioning. So when I called Marie again, I said, Marie, you want to go tonight to dinner? Oh, yeah. I said, I got another car. So, oh, good, Frankie. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I went to pick her up. And she was ready. No, I don't want to have anything happen. So I went to the car. She said, that's the same car. I said, it's not the same car, Marie. It looks like it. It's like an identical twin, but it has air conditioning and all. She said, oh, that's good. At least you got that. And I said, let's get in the car. And next thing I know, I couldn't believe it. I'm parked, and right in front of me, right where there's like a place where the cars come, like a turn there, and the car was waiting, and I saw it. I said, it looks like my car, my other car. She said, how can it be? I said, well, I think it is. So I started trying to follow it. I said, hang on, Marie. I don't care. I went to, the guy wasn't going too quick, so I stayed about a car length behind. After a few blocks, he pulls over. I pulled behind him, and I know it was my car. So I called the police, and they came and surrounded the car, because since I already reported it, and they got this guy, and he had a story he told them, that he got it from some guy in the bar, or some kind of crazy story that he told, and they believed him, There was a reporter on the scene that wrote the stories up and all about what happened. So with all that, I had all the identification and all, and they gave me the car. I said, take it. Since I had the title and all, I had it in the other car, everything. So that was it. I don't know what to tell Marie now. That she wanted, to go to dinner. I have 2 cars, and I don't know what to do with 2 cars. So I said, Marie, can you drive? And she said, oh, yeah. I never really even discussed that with her, because I'm the one who was doing all the driving, She said, okay, how about if I drive the stolen car, and you follow me in the new one, And we could go to the dealer. It's not going to take that long. The dealer's open late. I know he's open until about 10 o'clock. It still wasn't that late yet. She said, okay, but now stay. Do you know what you're doing here, right? The car's in park, and you know that all you have to do is keep your foot on the brake and put it in drive. She said, I know. You seem to know, so I didn't question anything. Follow me. Don't get too close in case I have to stop. I'm going to go slow. Put the flashers on. What was I worried with her behind me, and I don't know what I did would cause a problem. So it wasn't too far. And then we got there. I parked and she stopped back of me. I said, okay, turn everything off. Stay in the car. I'm going to go inside, to the dealer. He gave me back. He knew about what happened because I had told him. He gave me back pretty much all the money. Because see, the other one cost more. So of course he still made money because I kept the one that cost more money because of the air conditioning and all. They gave me back most of the money, but when you check, that was it. So I said, what do you want to do now, Marie? Now that's all settled right away, because I don't want to have two cars if I don't have to. It's bad enough one car. He said, okay, let's go to dinner. So we went to the favorite restaurant and was excited. I had steak and she had fish and all, and good dinner. And I said to her, well, Marie, I got a surprise for you. She said, oh, what is it? After all that, you think you deserve something. So I said, close your eyes and put out your hand. On your finger, I'm going to place a wedding band. She said, oh, wedding band? Okay, I put it on there, and it fit perfect. Oh, I said, open your eyes. And then she saw it, and she couldn't believe it. She kept looking at it and said, oh, Frankie, I love it. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's so big. She was hugging me and everything all over. And I said, calm down. I don't want to bring too much attention to it, So she's started asking me questions. And she asked me, she whispered in my ear, I said, best thing to do. And she said, Frankie, is this a real diamond, and how many carats? I said, well, and I whispered back in her ear, and I said, look, Marie, it's $20,000 worth of carats. She said, what? And then she whispered back, where'd you get all the money for that? I said, it took me 3 years to save that money. So I want you to understand that's, now I got another problem. I thought about it. Well, I want to wear it all the time. I said, yeah, I know, that's okay. But remember, this is $20,000 ring. You walk down the street with that, they don't care nowadays. They'll just knock you on the head and take the ring and take your finger with it. You got to be careful. I thought about it. She said, well, how am I going to wear it? You could wear it in the house. I said, no, I don't want to do that either. I had talked to the jeweler about this, before. He said, he can make a copy of that ring. I call it a dummy diamond. That'll look exactly the same. Then you could wear that, at least if somebody gets it. They won't be getting so much. It still cost me, something to have it done. She said, okay, let's do that. Then, she says, wear it for now. We got home. I kept it. I think I put it away someplace in her apartment. But I don't like doing this, but I have a safe deposit box. But in the meantime, I'll take it when I'll pick it up and put it to the bank, the next day or something. And then once that was done, then I contacted the jeweler about making the dummy diamond. He still charged me. I think it was still like $1,000. It wasn't that cheap because of the gold and all, It wasn't like So I finally got it. Then it didn't take too long. So I went to the bank again and got the other one. I brought them both and showed it to Marie, the same case and all. She said, wait a minute. How you going to know which is which? I mean, they look the same. I said, try them both on. They both fit. Identical. I mean, if you looked at it with the naked eye, you couldn't tell. They were really that good. The way he did it, it was so... Because he had all the specifications there, so there was no problem. So he said, okay, Frankie, explain to me how we're going to tell them apart. Because I know you're going to want to put the real one in the bank. I said, okay, a real diamond can cut glass, but the fake one can't because it's made of glass. I said, that's one way. I said, yeah, but still, you don't want to scratch up anything, or you don't want to scratch the diamond to find out. I said, okay, but I had the jeweler mark an F on the inside, somewhere in there. I saw where it is. F for fake or for Frank. I said, oh, okay, that's smart, pretty smart. I said, yeah, because I knew that was going to, even he told me, I'd be careful, Frank, because they could get mixed up very easily if you're not careful. So, and I made sure. I took the real one. I said, this is the real one, Marie. As long as you look and you see F on the one you're wearing, you know that that's the fake one. So I took and put the real one back into the safe deposit box, and Marie started wearing that ring around. I said, be careful though, Marie, because it does look real. It looked real. But she, you know how she was. I know she was so happy with it, so proud of it, Okay, so, we used to go around the corner and eat dinner too, a lot of times. I mean, once in a while we eat at home too. No, we didn't always go out. So Marie wanted to go to New York for the weekend. I said, okay, I work on the weekend anyway. Go ahead. It's all right. Call me. Make sure, I know she had the fake one, so I wasn't worried about that. I should have been, though. So I was doing bookkeeping, I think, then. So I came home from work. It's around 2 o'clock in the morning. I had the lights on. I don't know why I left them on. I think because I wasn't going to be there. Upstairs I was changing, and all of a sudden, I hear broken glass. I said, where's that coming from? So I grabbed my gun and flashlight. I went downstairs, and this guy's coming through the window. So I said, let him come in. You broke the glass, huh? Hit the deck. And he hit the deck. I called the police. They came, took him away. And the police said, you can press charge. You don't have to come down because you got your window open there. You got to fix that. I said, okay. Press the charges and all. And then I talked to the officers afterward, and they told me they found out why he broke in. I said, well, yeah, why did he? The lights was on. They said, yeah, because he was following you and Marie, all the time when you came from the restaurant. And, he was in the restaurant. I don't know whether he worked there or what. But he saw that ring on her finger, that big ring. He figured it got to be worth something. So he tried to get in to get it, I guess. He'd be glad that she wasn't there with it. Because if we had been upstairs and went to bed early, and he would have broke in, who knows what could have happened. It just so it happened while Marie was in New York and I was at work, but when I came home, so I pressed the charges and all that, and I ended up getting bars on all the windows and everything after that happened, because we're on the first floor, So that resolved that problem, but I told Marie, be careful, don't be flashing it. But I told her when she went to New York, I was worried, She came back, I told her the story, and she said, oh, I'll be more careful. I said, yeah, you can wear it, but just don't try to flash it too much. I mean, that guy was following us, and we didn't even know it. That just shows you what can happen. He could have grabbed us when we were going in the house, or from the restaurant. Who knows? So that seemed to pass. Everything seemed to be all right after that. I was glad that nothing really happened to Marie with that, that ring. But remember, this ring is because I wrote that song for Neil Diamond, and he didn't take it, right? And this is the reason why the story happened. That's why this all happened, because if he would have took the song, I wouldn't have been, I never would have met Marie, and none of this would have happened. She wouldn't have wrote the books, and nothing would have happened. So, as you can see, the title of the story, Real Diamond, you can see how it really has a lot to do with that real diamond. Okay, another part of the story, what happened was, we had moved into this townhouse. And I was trying to find out, about it. I spoke to the real estate, and they said nothing ever happened or anything there. Because I start hearing noises, and the lights was flickering, and, things like that, and I start wondering. It is an old house, back in the 1870s, something like that it was built. Remember, we didn't have a computer. This is over 40 years ago. There's no computer or nothing, so I couldn't really look it up. I went to the library, and I looked up, and there's no record of anything really happening in the house. I still kept trying to find out if anything could have happened in there, because the lights, that gets you annoyed. The lights are flickering. I know it could be a bad connection. It could be anything, Plus noises we were hearing at night. And we went to the casino. And it was like in the afternoon. It was one of my days off. And we didn't go it was in the afternoon. It was still daylight. And I turned the lights off and I set the heat. It was a little bit cool out. So we played for a while, and we had a good time and dinner and all, and we were living it up, and we even won money. I came back home, it was dark, right? I said, wait a minute. The lights is on. I know I didn't leave the lights off. I turned it off. And then we went inside, and I was saying, I thought maybe somebody broke in and they turned the lights on and, ransacked the place, but no, it wasn't so. I said, maybe stay back. And then I went in and I looked around. Didn't see anything. I noticed it's cold. She said, didn't you leave the heat on? See, what did you do? Turn the heat off and turn the lights on? I said, it's possible. I was in a hurry to go, Marie, but I don't think so. But okay, we still kept hearing noises and all that, so I contacted the electrician. I wanted to check it out, the electric. And he said, there don't seem to be anything wrong here. It could be when the electric company switches grids, you'll get a flicker like that once in a while. He said they do it all the time, to distribute the load. I said it was a good explanation, so I accepted it, And everything seemed to be all right after that, but I noticed the heat keeps going off. It's always cold in there, and I said, yeah. So I had somebody check out the heating system and all, and he said it seems to be working, but your filters need to be changed. That can cause some of that problem because when they get clogged, it doesn't get the airflow right, and it causes that to malfunction. And your thermostat is old. That should be changed. So we changed the thermostat and all, and the heat started working real good and all. Everything was all right. It was kind of quiet again. So I was still checking out if anything happened there. So I went and started talking to all the neighbors, and I said, we just moved in, everything was settled and all. Does anything, happen? Nobody know nothing, It's like, well, I talked to this one lady. She said, oh, yeah, I know you two moved in. I saw you. I said, it's nice meeting you. She said, my grandmother told me that something happened in that house right after they built it. There was a couple living there about your age. They were there for a while and all, and they started fighting a lot because the husband went and was having an affair with another lady, and the wife found out about it. And she said, well, if you want to go with her, go ahead, but I'm keeping the ring. He had given her a big diamond ring. And they were fighting all the time. And finally, she said that he pushed her down the steps because we had that stairway. I know what you're talking about. Near the back door that goes to the yard. And he pushed her down and she hit her head and she died instantly. They said it was an accident. But he took the ring off her lifeless finger and he gave it to the other woman. That's how the story went. So I said, oh man, that's something to think about, Because something did happen in there, and I really thanked her for that, telling me that. And then when I went home, I told Marie what happened. She said, oh, that could be why we're hearing those noises. Because if he gave her that ring and she wanted it and he took it back, maybe she can't rest in peace. And then we moved in and we're about their age, There was a connection, I had a Polaroid camera there. I didn't use it much, so I said, let me take some pictures in the house, I took it where the stairway was. I took it around the fireplace and all. And when they came out, none of the pictures came out. Except for one picture came out. And it looked like it was, the emulsion, on one side. It looked like a woman with Victorian clothes on. She was wearing a hat and all. And you could make it out. It did look like that. I asked Marie, she said, yeah, it does look like a lady. And she knows, it looks like she's got a ring on her hand, because it was showing her on the left side, like. It's like as if the ghost wanted us to see that, put it on that film. And I said, well, that film was kind of old, so then I think, days later, Marie was at work, and I decided to take pictures of outside of the house, the front. And they all came out, but it didn't show anything particular. And other pictures inside, but when Marie came from work, I showed it to her. And she looked them over real good, because she was better at that than me. I said, Frankie, look at that picture, that one by the window. It looks like the blind is open and someone's looking out. I wasn't home and you were outside. She said, the blind's not, oh, she looked at the window, right there. She said, the blind's not open now, look. Did you touch? I said, no. So that could be our ghost. It's possible. We never really saw any spirit or anything like that. Okay, so it was kind of quiet. So Marie goes to church a lot, lights candles and all, and she talked to the priest and told him what was happening. He said, yeah, that's possible. It is an old house and all, and it's possible it is some kind of, it could be some kind of spirit that's like trying to cross over and can't unless to tell the story. So it sounds like a friendly spirit. So he said, let me bless your house. So he blessed everything, top to bottom. I never seen anything like it. He even went outside. He blessed the yard, everything. I didn't know much about it, And Marie said, oh, we felt better about it, and he said, let me know how everything is. And everything was fine after that. And we were there over 20 years. Nothing ever happened after that. So that was the ghost in the townhouse. Marie called that in the chapter that she wrote in the book. Now that seemed to be fine. Once that was resolved, no more problems. So I start saying to Marie here right after, somewhere in there, I don't know exactly. Because when she's telling the story, the way she wrote it's different than the way I'm telling it now, because she's telling it and I experienced a lot of it. So, I said that, we were just starting out together. Might be a good idea if we try to get credit. And Marie agreed. I said, well, she said, how are you going to do it? I said, I know if you get a loan, a lot of times that starts a good way to start credit. You pay on it and that starts to give you a good credit, report, and then you get more credit and so forth and so on. So I said, well, I think we better get a joint account, because that way they'll base, since we're both working, you have a paycheck, I have a paycheck, they add that together, and since we have no credit, yet, so I made an appointment, we went down to this finance company, and we both went and all, and they were nice when we went there, nice to meet you. I said, we're both working and all, and we'd like to see if we could get a loan. We want to, build our credit, and based on both of our income and all. And they said, okay. They asked a lot of questions, and we signed everything. They said, we'll let you know in probably about a week to 10 days. And I said, okay. And I went back home, and then when finally I got the answer, well, I was at work, and Marie called me and told me, and I said, she must have waited till I come home to open it. Let me open it up. It's got both our names on it. It was a joint account. Congratulations, you have been approved for $5,000. I couldn't believe it that much. She said, yeah, because, we have a joint account, and we, individually, we might not have got as much, but because it was a joint account, they gave more money. So we started using it. I said, don't be going crazy with it. You just want to use it, and I'll pay it and use it, and so we kept doing that. There wasn't any problem at all, because remember, we were both working. And, Marie was worried that I couldn't pay it. I said, well, I want to pay it. If I wanted to pay it, like, say we used $50 in 1 month and I paid it, it would still have the same money. Okay, so I was using it finally, it went down a little bit. And then I said I saw if I could get more credit, I started to get compulsive here, and, I didn't realize what I was doing, we each got a couple more cars, but that's all right. It was in our names. I don't know what made me do all that, and I got in a lot of trouble, like I said, but mail used to come there where we were for different people that lived there. And I saw pre-approved for, gold card and all that for a lot, high credit line, and I said pre-approved. So I changed the last name. Say it was a woman, right? Say it was Angela Smith, and I would put my last name. Then a woman changed their names. I made up a social security number and a date of birth and all that. And what happens? It went through. It was pre-approved. I put my name on it as authorized user. I said, well, wait a minute. I got this credit. I kept getting credit to pay credit. Over like 8 years. And I'm using false information. And I got in a lot of trouble over that. I didn't know what to do. I was trying to hopefully could get one credit card for a big amount and pay it all off. But it was late fees and over limit fees, and I just couldn't pay anymore, We didn't know nothing about it, because all I said was, we're doing pretty good, we have enough available credit, and she didn't care, because I was handling it. So this went on for a while. Like I said, I didn't know how to get out of it. And all of a sudden, I'm moving the car one morning, it's early, and I think that the postal service was outside, like in an unmarked van or something. I kind of saw them. It looked kind of funny, But they waited till I left. They broke in the doors with battering rams and guns drawn. Can you imagine? Over these credit cards? Had a search warrant and everything. And Marie's still in the bed sleeping. She woke up with a gun to her head, There was postal agents, and there was one woman. I called her the Jane Doe postal agent, And Marie was all upset, and she didn't know what happened. I was a little bit shocked, but I knew what it was when they showed the affidavit of the search warrant that they were there like over 4 hours. And that's how I start getting in all that trouble. And finally, nothing happened. I went to work as usual, and all this went on for about a year, and nothing, Big investigation. That's when Marie wrote the book Railroad to Prison, book 2. She explains all about it, so I'm not going to explain it here. It's just that I got in a lot of trouble for it. And what happened was, when I had to go to the prison camp it was for 12 to 14 months. That was the sentence. Remember the real diamond in the bank? Okay, so I pawned it. I didn't get a lot of money. Because, of course, the guy in the pawn shop says, it's not worth, I sold $20,000. He said, it's not worth, maybe half of that. Because remember, the jeweler charged me for all his time, too. That's all in that price. It's not just the diamond itself. And, a pawn shop's not going to give you, they're going to get as low as they can. So I set it all up. And I got that money, I put it in the bank, I paid the rent for the whole year and bills and all that. So it was all right with that. That real diamond came in handy, and then Marie was still working, and she took her little bit of money. I said, look, if you can pay this every month, so we can keep the ring. I didn't really want to lose it, because I wasn't going to get as much money as what I really paid out for it. So he said, okay. So eventually, after I come back, I paid it all and kept working, got my same job and all, and no problems after that. None whatsoever. So you can see how that real diamond has to figure into the story again. But back when I was in trouble, when I got caught and all that, and when I finally did the sentence, this guy where I worked at, and I hired him because I thought when I was training people so that when I left, they could cover for me, because the owner of the business, she trusted me. She knew I wasn't doing nothing like that. She just knew that I got railroaded. So she was going to hold a job for me, and I trained the people. And this guy, he knew all about it. I called him my huckleberry friend, I thought I could trust him. He was a good worker. And he's taking money from the store. This is where the electronic criminal comes in. He was doing something with the point of sale terminal. Imagine me getting ready to serve a sentence for credit cards and all that, And am I going to get blamed for what he does with that business? So he goes ahead and he was, transferring money. He was interested in all that, how the system worked. Because, we at the point of sale, we didn't make too many sales with the credit cards and all that. Not too much, And I showed him every day, you have to settle that machine, to zero. So he started playing around with it. And he was putting in a sale, like there's just a button that said force on that point of sale terminal. That means if someone wants to use the credit and they don't have enough, you could force it, and then you call or they call you, or you call the company, and they decide if they want to extend the credit, and they give you a 6-digit code number. So what he did was, he knew that, so he'd say started with small sales, but then it went through, and he would settle it to zero. Okay, so say he put in $1,000. He would make up numbers or use his mother's credit card and put in $1,000 sale. And then he would transfer it to his account. I don't know exactly how he did everything. And then so now it's zero, right? And now he would settle it. So he kept doing that. He did up to $46,000, something like that. Imagine a little business like that we had there. And I found out about it because he started bragging about it to me when I came on the shift. And he knew I was getting ready to serve the sentence. So he accelerated his scheme, Okay, so I went to him and he said, oh, Frank, I got 46. I said, what? You didn't get 46,000 from this store. I don't know, how could you do that? He said, over time, I got 8,000, 9, 5,000. They all went through. He was so excited. I guess he had to tell somebody. What was I getting scared? Because I guess it hasn't caught up yet. Because what happened, he's making that up. So when he put in the code, so it got approved, right? But when the money went, there was no charge back. Either there was not enough money in the account, or the numbers he made up was not valid, or something. It's getting charged back to the store. So the bank of the store was going to owe all that money. And they started investigating and all, and finally, the next day I had set up the camera, I was really worried, what to do to make sure, because we had surveillance camera, to make sure that I could prove it, hopefully, when I came in on duty, I made sure I hit record and everything was set. So I lured him to the camera, and he's still bragging about it, about how much money he got and how he did it. And I said, well, why didn't you get more? He said, well, in case something happened, I didn't want to owe too much or something, He didn't know. He knows he did it. He got away with it. I said, well, how are you getting the money? He said he would, when he put the money in, he would go to the bank. He would check in the ATM machine and see how much was available. He'd go in the bank and he'd withdraw it all. But he would never take more than $10,000 because the bank would have to fill out a report, on any transaction that was over $10,000. So he knew that. So when you're walking out of the bank for close to $10,000, he said, yeah. He said, I took the money out because in case something happened, they couldn't get it back because it wouldn't be in my account. And he got the money, most of it, I don't know, towards the very end. But I had this confession on tape. I showed it already. I put it on YouTube, that confession, So I had that, and that was going to clear me. Because I was not going to go have another charge on me for that. So I kept investigating all that, and that's where this electronic criminal come in. That's what Marie came up with that title for the third book. So you see how these books are that she wrote? So I got back and from all that, the video store that I was working and he was working, we absolved from everything. He got sentenced. It was probation and all that, because he took a plea bargain and all. Because when Marie wrote the book, The Electronic Criminal, she actually did a mock trial and all. She explained that in detail, all that, that what happened with that. So you can see how the three stories are connected. So back to this one now. I was back and everything seemed all right. We were getting along all right. I paid off for the real diamond ring, got it back. Yeah, and I was surprising that I could pay it off, because once I start working again, I had my job right away. So that was taken care of, and we'll put it back in the safe deposit box. It actually came in handy. It saved everything, But what happened next is that the owner sold the townhouse that we were in. We were there over 20 years. And we get like a month notice. I said, what? I told Marie, and she said, oh no. A month notice? After there all that time, it didn't matter, That's all they're required to do. Can you imagine after 22 years? I'm going to find a place that easy? So I started looking around, and I know a lot of people in the neighborhood to try to find a place. So I finally talked to this guy, and he said, look, I have a place not too far from where you live. He had a lot of businesses and all. And it wasn't too bad. It was small, though. That's the only thing. It was the first floor. I said, okay, I think I might have to get it, So I told Marie about it. She said, okay, let's want to go look at it? And then she said, okay, she was upset about it. And I said, don't worry about it. We still have some time. I'm trying to do this right away, get a place, So it wasn't too far away. And it was there when we came, and some small talk, and I showed Marie everything. And it was small compared to what we had, It was the first floor, and downstairs there was a washer and dryer and all. We had the backyard too, again. That was nice. So, I asked Marie, what do you think? She said, well, I think I kind of like it, but it is kind of small compared to what we have. I said, okay. I told him I'll let him know the next day, I'll see him at work. So I start giving him some money down on it and all. I didn't want to lose it, So I finally got everything straightened out, the basement was big over, in a smaller place, so I got everything over there, and I got time to move, because I was trying to get within the time frame, We had plenty of time because I got the place right away, so I was able to move stuff little by little. So once that all took place, well, it was it took a while, and then I needed money because I talked to Marie at the time. I said, look, I want to pay this guy everything, plus I want to pay here too. So I said, how about if we sell the real diamond? You still have the fake one. She said, she said, if you think it's a good idea. I said, well, it's in a safe deposit box. I can take that money and put it in a savings account, and we'll get interest on it. And I'll be able to pay him all the money he needs, and we'll still have money left. Make sure I pay at the other place. So she agreed, and I went back to the jeweler. And he promised that he would take it back. But by the time, he took off 10%, but he took off others, he's going to charge me again. So I didn't get back. I got back a good portion of it, enough that we would have a little bit of a nest egg, So we moved into the new place. I got everything in there, and we stayed there for a while. We still had, I guess, the dummy diamond, as you might call it, And he was happy with that. We got the new place. At first, it was a little bit awkward, but I had everything down the basement, in the little place, So I talked to the landlord, and he said, if I want to run everything there, he won't raise the rent. And we ended up staying a long time. That's if he was still there. As long as he was the landlord, I could take care of the property and keep it, fixed up and all. And then I told Maurice, he said, oh, it's a sweet deal you got. He was happy with that too, everything turned out all right. We kept staying and staying, and all the time we were there. Another long time in that place. Nothing really happened too much in the little place, We're starting to get older. We're starting to have health problems and all, and so it wasn't like the way it was when we were younger, and I had the car and we were going everywhere. But we still stayed together, and we were still happy together, It wasn't like, it didn't matter what happened, with all the things that did happen. Remember, we survived all the things. Remember the guy that broke in, all the ghosts in the townhouse, then the car being stolen, and then happened to move, and all those things, we still stayed together. And then, of course, like I said, Marie wrote the 3 stories, not too long ago. I wouldn't have done it like that. I would have wrote one story like the way I'm saying it now. I would have done it like that, but she did it by the way she broke it down. I told you how she broke it down. This particular way I'm saying it is like in my own words, the way it did happen, There's a lot more things I could have went over here, but I covered the main things, the highlights of it. I think it can be, especially Real Diamond, could really be it could be a musical, it could be a movie, it's a true story, I always wonder about that. You see all these movies they keep doing. Say a movie's popular, it doesn't have to be a big hit. They keep doing sequels and sequels and sequels. What about some new material like this? This is something different. It could easily be done. Remember, plus when she wrote the books, she, I think, put 5 songs that I wrote in there. You know how we came up with the songs? Like, I'll give you an example. Like with the pot plants. After that was all over with, she asked me, Frankie, do you ever think of writing a song about the pot plants? I said, I want to write a song about the pot plants. Why? Because I'm not going to encourage people to grow pot. If I'm going to say, put plants in your yard and then you can surround the pot plants with them. I said, no. She said, yeah, but that expression, don't let yourself go to pot. I said, yeah, I know what that means. That means that don't let yourself get out of shape. You don't want a pot belly, whatever. That's an old expression. She said, think you could write a song with that title? I said, yeah, it's not a bad idea. So I did. I ended up getting the lyrics, and I wrote it. Had nothing to do with pot. Nothing. So I wrote it to like that everybody should get into shape so that nobody should let themselves go to pot. Remember, again, it's over 20 years ago. No, that was 40 years ago. When I wrote all that. It was all... Okay, so I sent it to George Liberace. They did the music, and it sounded... The singer, again, I did it in like Neil Diamond rock. It sounded like Neil Diamond. I still have it. So that's one of the songs that I still have all that. She put it in the book. She put the lyrics after each chapter that she mentioned the song, and that was one of the songs. And she mentioned Real Diamond too, because that's what the story's about. That's what I'm playing in the background here. So it did, it did come out. What ended up happening after all of this, Lee told me one day after, if we finished the 3 books, she told me, Frankie, look, you wrote the songs and I wrote the books. I said, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I'm still here and she's not, but what she wrote is still here, you know. The 3 stories that she wrote, for me, it's nostalgia, it's memories of our life, and I'm glad she did it, you know. I mean, I wish someone would, you know, maybe take one of the books and publish it, or put it into maybe make a play on Broadway, or a movie. It's possible, because it does have music and all. Because right now, I know they were working on a musical about Neil Diamond, since he's retired now, and I think he's got Parkinson's disease and all right now. But what I said here about how I wrote the song for him and all that, they don't have that in there. And the fact that it does have something to do with, you know, with the story, you know, that we wrote, not rewrote. I mean, it was a good title. The title of a song ended up being the title of a book. She wrote this story, you know, just what I said here. Pretty much covered everything that she put in the book, but I said it different. So I'm going to go back a little bit back again, maybe that I didn't cover too clearly. Now, but as far as what happened with the guy breaking in, well, that happened, but as a result of that guy breaking in, ended up having bars on all the windows, and that was not too long after we moved in. So the benefit of that was that we had all the windows with bars on the first, second floor and all. So that when I was at work or we were out, we didn't have to worry coming back and worrying about somebody breaking in that easy. So that was a good thing out of that, you know. And again, with that ghost in the townhouse, that probably, we never saw any ghosts or anything, but we did notice all the strange happening. So, and all that did, we got the house blessed and all, so that had a good point out of it, you know. And about that electronic criminal, well, that happened because of my situation. He knew about it, and he come up with this scheme, you know. It was a scheme, you know. I don't know how he really did it yet. I don't think the bank, because see, point of sale terminal then, it wasn't like it is today with all the things that they have, the protections and all. It wasn't like that then. It was connected to the phone line, just like a lot of stuff is now, but the way he did it, you know. I mean, I caught on to it, but he settled it every day to zero. Now, if there was no sales that day, because if he would sell it and then do his scheme and then settle it again. We didn't, you know, it was going undetected. But there's a sequence number for them settlements, and then I noticed it. That I said it went from 4 to 6. I said, how come this? I asked him once about it. He said because he made a mistake or something, and he returned something, and somebody wanted to buy something and they changed their mind. He returned it and he settled it. So he gave me an answer, but you know, he didn't get away with it anyway, you know. He was my Huckleberry friend, huh? Became my Huckleberry enemy, is what happened, but it shows you how things that happen in life, you never know. In this case, you know, like I said, it's a true story, and if anybody's interested in doing anything, you know, with especially the book 1, Real Diamond, I think that's a good title, and it really, you know, it makes sense how, you know, Marie wouldn't have done what she did, because she came up with all that, you know. I'm going to give you a brief description of how it all happened, how she wrote all the stories. She asked me one day, she said, Frankie, do you think it'd be a good idea if we wrote the memoirs? I said, well, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. I mean, to think about how to do that. Oh, I know how to do it. I know. I said, what do you mean you know how to do it? She said that she divided her life into 3 stories. I already mentioned that. But he said, and then she was telling me, this is how we can do it. I said, well, what do you mean we? Do you have it written down already? Do you have it started? She said, no. I said, well, how you want to do it? I said, well, you go to the store. You get 3 copybooks. She gave me strict instructions. I said, okay, so then what? She said, I'll give you the 3 titles, and book 1, book 2, and book 3, and each one, I'm going to give you all the chapters first on each book. Then you're going to do all that first. She said, then we'll take a chapter at a time, and I'll I'll dictate to you and you'll write it, but only write on one page. So you'll have the blank side, on the left of you, so you can add later on any corrections that we make. I said, that's pretty good. And then she said, well, then we can, when we go over everything, once you complete one book, I want to go over it, and then once it's completed, you can add anything you're supposed to add, the lyrics to your songs or whatever I put in there. He said it made sense. He said we can pick a certain time of day to do it, a couple hours every day, and then it should be all right. I said, anything else? I said, yeah, I don't know how you're gonna do all this. Nothing written down? He said, yeah, you're writing it down. I said, okay. Let's see what else. I said, we'll get started. I'll get the 3 copybooks. And we started it, Some chapters were longer than others. I gave her, say the chapter title was How Frank and Marie Met. She just started telling me. And I kept writing. I told her to go slow, and I was writing it by hand. And we get one chapter done. Some chapters were short enough that we could get it done in one day, but some chapters were long. I said, I don't know how you memorize. He said, no, because see, those chapter titles, as soon as I hear the title, then I can discuss it, But I won't be able to afterward, after we get it done. So after it all got done, actually all 3 books got done. It took about a year and a half, I guess, something like that. And then now I didn't type anything, of course. I said, oh, I don't know what the heck I'm going to type all this. For my chicken scratch, I still have those books. So I went through them and I started saying, I made corrections and went over everything, Marie. And she don't even remember writing all that, Of course, I guess once she finally got done with that, she forgot about it. She wanted to get it down, So I said to myself, well, why don't I make the corrections and I can read it, with a microphone into a DVD disc or a CD and all that. And then I'll read it, each book, and then I'll type it from that. And that's what I did. And that's how come the audio books that I have on YouTube, that's the reason why I have them. Because that's what I did. I was able to type the manuscript from them. So I that kind of explains how these books came about. That's pretty much it now. I don't know what else I could cover here. See, I told the story, in my words, the real diamond. I might do it with book 2, Railroad to Prison, and describe it, what happened. Just that story, because that's the way she did it. You notice, when I was discussing about the real diamond, I didn't mention too much about the Railroad to Prison, how I was railroaded and all that, but she does in the book. Book 2, she does all that. And then book 3, she doesn't mention. Well, in book 2, I think she mentions the electronic criminal, but just a small section, a small chapter about it, so that create the interest for the book 3. But that electronic criminal, that was really, to me, I don't know, they're all good. He discusses a lot of things in that book about this guy and all, why I hired him, and how kind of a worker he was, and everything. His family, all the witnesses that she created, and like I mentioned about the mock trial. She did a trial, one of the chapters, of what would have happened if he would have went to court. She had the jury and everything. I don't even know how she came up with that. And one more thing about, once I typed all the manuscripts, she kept asking me, she said, I got a publisher. I said, what? How are you getting a publisher? You're an unknown author. No, I got a publisher. I saw it on TV when I look at my stories. They said if you have a manuscript or something, you can send it. And I had contacted them, and they told me where to send it. They said, you typed it all, right? I said, yeah. So I sent them the manuscript. Did it for her because I know how her heart was set on that. I said, look, I'll send it. But they don't charge nothing to look at it. I said, okay. So the next thing I know, it took a while, and after that, the calls started. She started getting a lot of calls, and I wasn't there a lot, but I know from what she told me, they kept calling and calling and calling, because they wanted, they said, oh, your manuscript was good, and we definitely could make it into a good book. and you can work with one of our writers or one of our, I guess, I don't know what they call it, agents or what, to work directly with you. We'll sign them. And she said to me, Frankie, I don't know what to do. You better take over. So I talked to them. I said, I'm taking care of this for Marie. I'm her, I guess you could say, her manager or what for this. I said, look, we're going to have to decide. So I'm going to talk her over. They sent a contract and all. But they charge. They charge for everything. Sure, they're going to get, I think it was all together like $3,000. Oh, you can pay them a couple $100 a month or something, you know. Of course, they're not going to do anything until you pay it off. And I said, we don't have no money for doing that. No guarantee, it'll be a hit or nothing. They said because I talked to them, and I'm the one handling it. They can't push me around because I know what I'm talking about. So I told them, look, we want to get a book published on the merit of the work, not because we're paying you. They said, yeah, but you'll get all your money back once it's done and published. Any money that comes in, you get it back until it reaches the amount of money that you paid us. And once it gets to that point, then we only take 50 cents a book and you get the rest of it. So I said, well, okay, that doesn't sound too bad, but I'll let you know. And he said, you have plenty of time to decide. I think it was 2 years before they would have to redo the contract. So I said, okay. I told Marie about it. And she said, oh, I didn't understand that, Frankie. I didn't know we have to pay. I said, yeah, Marie, you don't have, that's a vanity press, It'd be nice to have a book and a title into a book. You can put it on, give it out to your friends and show off that you wrote a book and all that. But it's not going to be that profitable. It's costing you money. Might not even make one sale. Who knows? But she understood. I said, look, I'm going to try to get the books out there. So I start sending query letters. I start doing everything. I didn't have a computer then, so I was doing it by mail. And I wasn't getting answers and all, but there's just like a form letter, they weren't going to take it. So I kept telling them, well, I'll just have to keep working on it. And that's what I'm doing now, but I don't know what's going to happen with it. I decided now maybe give some background here and explain it in what really happened, because I'm the one that all the stuff happened to, basically, to both of us. But she told the story in all the books. I'm telling it now, for book 1, Real Diamond. So, I don't know if you can hear the song in the background, but that's what it was based on, that song. I took those lyrics and I made it come to life, and you saw what happened. A lot of things happen as a result of that, Well, I hope you enjoyed this presentation of this. I try to cover as much as I can. If anybody's interested in maybe making a deal with me for one of the books or all of the books, you can reach me at, let's see, the best thing for me to do is put my email address here. It's frankleeper46@gmail.com. You could go through social media here, through, I guess, either YouTube or Twitter. But in this case, I'm glad I did it now. I want to get that out there, exactly how this come to be, I was going to take each chapter and read it, but I said that's not going to do nothing. Better if I just tell the whole story, and I covered the main things of the story, the way it actually happened. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And I'm going to let that play now, the song. I'm going to let it play a couple times. And, you'll be able to hear it again and listen to the lyrics. Because the lyrics does, I followed the lyrics in the book, and in the song. And Marie followed it. I mean, it's hard to think they could take those lyrics and make it into a book. But that's not unusual. It happens all the time, How I got the diamond ring and saved the money, and how we met. I found the girl of my dreams, and then we went to the restaurant, and I gave her the ring. And we finished our meal, and how good did it make her feel over that? It does in the detail there. So now I'm going to play it again. It's coming to the part where we went out on the town. But remember, listen to those lyrics you just heard what I told you, the story, and if you read listen to the audio book, and you'll see how it sounds, you know. So I actually put video, but not. I would do it a different way, you know. So this is going to finish up, and then that'll be it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. It's something a little bit different. I've been doing a lot of different videos here, and I kind of like doing them. You know, I feel better right now to do that, because I think about it, you know, and this way at least I'll have it in the way I was thinking about the song. Well, the song and the book, because the song is the book and the book is the song in this case. So again, like I mentioned, how it came to be. If Neil Diamond would have taken my song, none of this would have happened. Chances are no, because I wouldn't have did all that. I would have been glad that he would have taken my song, but he just not taking outside material, and that was it. He did all his own music and lyrics and all that. I mean, he sung other songs too, right? He never sung my song, that's for sure. Okay, that's gonna come on again. I'm gonna let the song play out. Hope you can hear it. I don't know how I set the volume enough. See if you can hear it, and then that'll be it for this, I guess, as you might call it, presentation. Okay, here it comes. You should be able to hear it. I didn't want to make it too loud. There it is.
I'll show you the way I feel. Close your eyes and put out your hand. On your finger I will place a wedding band. A real diamond may go from hand to hand. The love I have for you would be the same in any land. I can tell by the expression on your face, this was the right time and the right place. This means we can start a new life as Mr.